3B is sanitary sewer main lining improvements project. Number 1 is consideration of final acceptance for project. Adam, do you have any words of wisdom?
The recommendation from the engineer is to accept final acceptance. All of the main waivers have been presented, and there's 1 or 2 items that we're watching. One item is the state of the road replacement that was done on 5th Street. It was identified during the walkthrough that there was some cracking in it, and it's set on the monitor list basically. Other than that, I'm not aware of anything. There's a little minor issue here or there as far as that we're keeping an eye on just in case a problem occurs.
How long is it liable on that road?
On those items, including the road, it's 2 years.
So even though you accept this, you can still go back?
Correct. There is a warranty period on most things. It ranges from 2 to 5 years depending on what the item is.
Is there anything else that is looking like this is questionable?
That's the only significant thing. I mean, we will monitor a couple of the manholes that are done, that type of activity.
What type of teeth do we have, let's say, if the grading on that cement should take place? So we send it to him now and tell him.
The nice thing is for the next year, Mark, the inspector, will continue to be in town as part of the wastewater treatment process. But if we observe that it continues to persist, that we would contact the engineer, and the engineer would process a warranty claim so that they can do the replacement.
And they would be bound to do that.
Correct, under the terms of 2 years, yeah. From final acceptance, which is tonight.
Who determines, okay, say we need one fixed, and, because there's obviously things that appear that, we know that aren't going to work, and there's a law that ain't going to bother.
Well, there's terms of within the contract of an agreement pertaining to that. All it has to do is substantially deteriorate the livelihood of the product. That's going to be determined by an engineer. You can't make these legal proofs. But you could see them resist based on a claim that they don't believe it is impacting the lifetime of a road. You can't protect yourself from a legal claim in those kind of circumstances. However, one of the things that they always weigh very heavily in these type of cases is the engineer on the job. They've been kind of the overseer of quality throughout the project, and usually their word is kept pretty well in a legal setting.
Could you see to it that Bob and then Terry get a copy of the letter of December 10th, 2010 from Darren Jacobs, addressing this? Terry and Bob were both there at the walkthrough, and I think it was Terry that caught that.
Correct.
And so if you could just give them the letter, it kind of puts an official stamp to it. But I would hope that they watch it too. And we assume that Snyder's going to,
We have discussed that.
Okay.
We would never put ourselves in a situation where we would rely on someone else to monitor it. I know at the last time I discussed it with Terry, Terry said he'd monitor it on a month-to-month basis. Okay. And I know Bob and I discussed making sure that we could regularly check it. Because we don't want to put ourselves into a situation where if it is going to fail early, that we lose our opportunity to respond to a warranty scenario.
How bad is it?
There are 4 panels, if I remember right, Bill. Is that how it was? There's 4 panels, and it was witnessed on 2 of the 4 panels.
and a little bit on the other ones too, but it was significant on 2 of the 4.
I would not be surprised when we get to this next summer, and it was something we discussed at the time. I would not be surprised this summer if we have a real good feeling on whether or not it's going to be an issue or not.
I'm sure we can do a final system. Is that bad?
Well, the feeling at the time is that there's a certain amount of scarring that occurs as a result of a standard operation. And it was feeling at that time that it wasn't bad enough to meet a standard of completion, and that it should be considered a warranty issue rather than an issue of a completion of the project.
Who suggested that we accept it?
Both Darren, which is the main engineer on the project, and the inspector, Mark Webb.
The inspector was for the engineering office.
Correct, works for us, Stephen.
How many dollars are we talking about at this point?
It'd be hard for me to tell. They would have to go back in and redo the road. I would be guessing any number I would give. Well, the overall project was 1.1. So I would be shocked if it's more than $100,000. But I'm not saying that isn't significant, but I'm saying that it's not the overall cost of the project.
But there's a 2-year warranty on it. Why are they pushing us to accept it at this point in time when we can't even, in the wintertime, we can't even
Well,
inspect?
that is because there's a reasonable expectation that you will finalize the project based upon your final walkthrough. And because there is a certain amount of the contract that is held until final acceptance is paid. They're
And
still
they want
waiting.
their money.
And they're still waiting on a check based on the final acceptance. There's a retainage amount under the terms of the contract.
So your suggestion is to give them final acceptance to the council to vote for that?
And to continue to move forward on observing it from a warranty standpoint, which is what the engineers are recommending to myself.
Have they ever had any issues coming back with this company to get something fixed?
Actually, their reputation with Van Buren, they consider Van Buren to be a pretty reputable company. Now, they've had some ownership changes in the last year or two. But their experience with Van Buren is that they are a reputable company that tries to do a good job.
We pay Darren and his firm a lot of money to advise the council. They would have to be very careful in their reputation if they advised us to accept it.
Well,
So I can see it put the spring, put after the layer, the salt and sand and everything on it. Be a lot easier then, it would be, wouldn't have to warrant it. How much retainage do we have?
I'd have to go look, you're talking $40,000, $50,000 a year.
It's 44.
So you're talking about $50,000.
What happens if it isn't accepted?
That they would not be paid $45,000, $50,000 until it is.
Are we completely done with that?
They have been off site since September. They had to meet certain criteria to even be considered for final acceptance. One was a final walk there, which I know Councilman Brenny went along with Terry and Bob on. And then one of the other steps, of course, is passing all the lien waivers on the contract.
well, I could see this kind of thing come up, because, I've dealt with a lot of concrete over the years too. Well, concrete cracks, and it's just the way it is, we're not gonna do anything about it. And then we're gonna get hung up dry here. And that's what I'm kind of a little leery of.
One of my concerns with Van Houten, and I voiced this concern several times over the thing, that they were somewhat unreasonable in demanding payment ahead of time, even before, when we were following regular protocols as far as payment. And they were somewhat unreasonable in their pursuit of getting payment even in excess of what would be expected by general accepted procedures for payment by a city. And to me, and it wasn't just once or twice, I mean, it was repeated. And to me, they showed bad faith and a lack of understanding. Sure, there was a change of ownership, but we're perhaps basing our, good reputation on the previous ownership and not on the current one. And this new Brian, who was in charge of payments and so on, was railing on our city. And then to turn around and expect that we show good faith in payment of this, and if something goes sour, that they're going to come back and, make good on it just that quickly.
Well, putting my legal hat on here, the real question before you is did they complete the project as required? And that is a question you have to ask yourself. Whether it is a material issue, or if it's an aging or what's another term they use, curing issue for the road, then that would be a warranty issue to resolve. It would not. Did they complete the road, and did that road meet the standards for being a completed road? That is the question you have to ask yourself if you approve final acceptance. Because you have to remember what your expectations are in a warranty and what your expectations are on a construction are two different items. And
Perhaps, a consideration might be to seek our city attorney's opinion, what he would suggest if we should in fact rely on the warranty, or if we have adequate grounds, to withhold payment because of their past performance. And I certainly, as a city council person, would have no problem Van Helen, knowing that I wasn't real comfortable with how they handled their expectations of payment. So that would be my recommendation, perhaps table it at this point, seek city council advice, or city attorney advice.
I would like that, to have Colin talk to Snyder.
Is it the council's opinion to table this until the next meeting?
I would concur with Bill.
Okay. Then we will table that number
Do
one.
we need to actually put it on the table, or can we just slide that?
I don't think we vote on it, we just,
Probably would order if you lay it on the table, you have to go.
I would vote to put this on the
All
table
right.
because this is a budgetary issue.
okay.
I will make a motion to table, or put this on the table.
Do we need a time frame, Adam?
No, you'll just need a vote to take it off.
Okay. For a second? Call for a vote?
Councilman Frederick,
Yes.
Brevard,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. B2, consideration of approving drawdown number 9 for SRF loan money in the amount of $49,775.33 for the sanitary sewer main lining improvement project.
Can we do that without?
You said you wouldn't take action because
That's what that money is for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we have to do the same thing?
You
No,
could-
you can just,
No.
supposed to be non-action.
Okay. Well, then we wouldn't do number 3 either,
Or four.
or 4.
Well, okay, that's Snyder's and Associates bill.
Is that for the
That's
same
something
But you have to
separate.
correct your
They're all
drawdown.
Together, because
Assuming we bring this back in 2 weeks,
I think we have done 2 weeks.
at that point, we would just do all of these again in 2 weeks.
Okay,